Hello, everybody. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. The Sunday Story edition. We are live. Um, some things to report before I get to the actual video stories. Laplace, Louisiana, last night, 6 wounded at a 12-year-old birthday party when someone opened fire in a garage full of kids. All of those wounded were kids. The shooter was also a kid. By kid, we mean under 16. Kenosha, Wisconsin last night, 3 killed, 2 wounded. Altercation at a bar, shooter still at large. Columbus, Ohio last night, 1 killed, 5 wounded, while at a vigil for someone else who had been killed. Austin, Texas this afternoon, 3 killed, apparently in a domestic dispute. These are just the number of killings that have happened in less than 24 hours. Laplace, Louisiana, 6 wounded, all kids. The shooter was a kid. It was a 12-year-old birthday party in a garage. Kenosha, Wisconsin, 3 killed, 2 wounded at a bar fight or at a bar altercation. Shooter still at large. Columbus, Ohio, 1 killed, 5 wounded while attending a vigil for someone else that has been killed. Austin, Texas, 3 killed, apparently domestic related, and the shooter still at large. Also, there was a shooting Thursday night in Indianapolis, Indiana, about 20 miles from me, at the FedEx facility at the Indianapolis International Airport. And 8 people were killed. 5 of them were minorities. So that will possibly be a motive to surface. And with the hate, with the lies, with everything that's been spewed through QAnon and through right-wing sources about how bad anybody is that isn't a white man, and how bad it is for everyone that is a white man, it's not surprising that we see and will see minorities targeted, if you will. And don't be surprised if we don't learn that that's what happened in the Indianapolis shooting Thursday night. That shooting, 2 assault rifles that were legally purchased, despite the FBI having red flags on the young boy, the 19-year-old Brandon Scott Hole, Hole. His mother said in 2020 he might try suicide by cop. There were at least 2 police reports on him. And again, the FBI had red flagged him so that he would not be able to get an assault weapon. So that kind of brings us up to where we're at. The first story, this is one of those, it's not what it looks like.
A New Jersey man was issued a summons after an air rifle was found mounted on the top of a Hummer yesterday afternoon in Midtown. Christopher Stoney of Woodbury was driving the Hummer along 9th Avenue and West 34th Street. The vehicle, owned by a Philadelphia-based company that launches T-shirts from the air rifle for promotional purposes. The 41-year-old man now facing a charge of unlawful possession of an air rifle.
So, that's one of those situations where, again, it looked like he was perhaps planning something nefarious with a gun mounted on a vehicle that said War Child, and in the middle of New York City in these heightened times, not the brightest thing to do, possibly. Second story I want to bring up. This shows how other countries are portraying what is going on right now in Brooklyn Center. Okay, this is from Sky News in Australia. This is how Australia is viewing what is going on in Brooklyn Center through this week after the death of Dante Wright.
Evaluating Minnesota State Statute 609.50.
Riots, protests, and looting have broken out in Minnesota as Black Lives Matter supporters congregate together in support of Dante Wright, who was killed by a police officer on Sunday. On Tuesday, police had made more than 60 arrests as protesters took to the street to beg for justice. 26-year-old Kim Potter, a white woman, was charged with the fact.
First of all, Kim Potter is not 26 years old. Kim Potter is a 26-year veteran of the police force.
Fatal shooting of 20-year-old Dante Wright at a traffic stop on Sunday, not far from where George Floyd died. She was released from county jail after posting a $100,000 bail and faces a second-degree manslaughter charge. BLM protesters have been calling for defunding the police since last May when George Floyd was killed in police custody, and this time the protesters have been out since Sunday. Minnesota State Patrol Colonel Matt Langer has slammed any protesters who are breaking the law. He said, "The behaviours that we continue to see are unacceptable and we are not going to tolerate them. It is not acceptable and it will not be tolerated if you choose to do criminal activity and destroy property and throw objects and make it unsafe for people to come and exercise their First Amendment rights." Fox News contributor Kayleigh McEnany has condemned the protesters and says it leads to more deaths.
The bottom line is all of these.
Okay, really pay attention to what she's saying. She is going to say that these riots have led to 90 deaths.
Or defending rioting are in fact enabling a much more violent situation. National Review cited a study that found that in the 5 cities that where a viral incident with the police, a viral moment takes off and results in rioting, that they actually saw 900 excess homicide deaths. So this leads to death, to destruction, to chaos. And I would just say to all of these rioters and to those enabling it, just the words of Martin Luther King, who said, they are socially destructive riots, they are self-defeating, and I will continue to condemn riots and continue to say, my brothers and sisters, this is not the way. Let's follow in the footsteps of the great Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay. The title of that video was "Horrifying Videos Show Violent BLM Riots in Minnesota." There was rioting one night last Sunday, a week ago. There was rioting. Stores were looted in the strip mall directly across from the police station, but it wasn't extensive. It didn't go into downtown Minneapolis, and that was the only night that there were riots. The reason I bring that up is because we've been covering it live from various feeds for the past 6 days, and there was rioting on the one night. It's being portrayed in the mainstream media as night after night of nothing but rioting and burning and looting, and people that just watch the mainstream media, that's the message they're getting. That it's not the actually what's going on. It's not about people protesting for an unjust act. They're making it seem like it's just random violence and that all black people are violent. That's just the messaging. Just giving you something to think about. I had one more video, but it says an error has occurred. Well, there's an officer involved shooting going on in Burnsville, Minnesota. And, okay. I'm going to go there real quick. Again, this is live footage coming up from Burnsville, Minnesota. Currently underway.
How's it going? Hey, you wouldn't happen to have a Apple USB charging cord that I could borrow for a little bit, would you? Just like for an Apple?
Yeah, I think I do.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. Hey guys, if you're just joining, I just got here. This is an officer-involved shooting in Burnsville, Minnesota. The suspect was fleeing. Apparently, initial reports are a carjacking. The individual then was running from police and was shooting out the back window and stuff at police. And then apparently tried to carjack another car and then was engaged. So that's what I'm hearing initially right now. Again, just arrived on scene. I'm at Road 13 and 35W South. This will be on the south side of the County Road 13.
If you're just joining us, this is live. It was an officer involved shooting, apparently a carjacking, and then a second carjacking, tried to carjack another car, and
You're not leaving right away,
police
right?
engaged.
I'm just gonna be like hanging out, right? I swear to God, I won't run away with it. I appreciate you so much, man. It just popped up on the Twitter feed, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta go.
Yeah, no, I was gonna look this weekend. We saw traffic and went on path and hung out and see what happened. Yeah, we pulled back around. Yeah.
This is, from what I understand, the guy was running from them already. Give me 1 second, guys.
He was, this is a carjacking.
Yeah.
Yes, multiple carjacking.
Yeah, I think he tried to target somebody else right too when they tried to catch him. When you got here, was this already over or was it still kind of going on?
No, it was already over. The car was already there. The ambulance had just left with the guy, but the
Okay.
ambulance left pretty slow.
Okay.
So,
You think he's deceased?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. For them to be that slow.
But they weren't in a rush or anything?
They were in a rush here, but then when they got in there, they did.
Then I was like, yeah, look at that. Look at that. I don't know if that guy knows what he's doing. He made it. Yeah, the carjackings are getting way worse around the Twin Cities, guys. I mean, like, we're in Burnsville. We're south of the river. We're in an area that, I mean, I wouldn't say we get very many carjackings at all.
No, it's just, I mean, for them to, I just hate it because I live here, it sucks.
Yeah.
But that's the beat up here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with everything that's going on, it's,
Yeah.
and I'm happy that there was no big on that carjacking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the other carjackings, there's been.
There's been kids and all that stuff. Yeah.
Have you been over looking second?
I did. I was filming out there Thursday night.
Okay, I'll keep monitoring that if we get any more, or I think we probably have a full view of what was going on there, at least in the aftermath. I've got this story I want to share. This comes from Riot Heart, one of the 502 live streamers. This is Louisville, Kentucky, and this was earlier today. I'm just going to let it roll. So that's what was going on with cameras, and it makes us it makes you have to think what's happening when cameras aren't around at times. That again today in Louisville, Kentucky. Wanted to share that. That was shared by
Hey Justin, you
Ryan
say
Hart.
Justin, Justin. All right, so we got another family over here, and
If you're just joining us, we've been running through some stories. Now we're going to George Floyd Square. This is live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thank you all for watching. I'm just going to glance at the chat real quick. Robert, Tree of Liberty, dinner with Shamu, not Shamu for dinner. That's a great sentiment. Salty Granny, hello. Yeah, this is these are just stories, and like we do on the show, we point out things that don't get enough exposure, and those stories, I believe, fit that vein. We started out with Laplace, Louisiana, 6 wounded last night, all of them kids. The shooter was a kid as well. It was at a 12-year-old's birthday party in a garage. Kenosha, Wisconsin last night, 3 killed, 2 wounded in a bar altercation. The shooter's still at large. Columbus, Ohio, 1 killed, 5 wounded at a vigil for someone else that had been killed. And Austin, Texas, 3 killed in a domestic incident, apparently. That shooter's still at large as well. So something's up in America. There's I personally think it's a dark spiritual vibe that is moving across the country, but that's my personal opinion. Others can say craziness. Others can just say whatever they want, that it's just normal, but it just doesn't feel normal to me personally. And we're back at it. You can see Breonna Taylor picture in the background, possibly. I don't know if you can. Yeah, she's visible back in the background. This is in George Floyd Square in Minneapolis, Minnesota. There's definitely tension, regardless of what you believe spiritually. There's tension in the air in our nation, tension between people, tension between peoples, tension based on ignorance and hate, and unnecessarily placed Shooting somewhere in Tennessee. I'll look into that, Granny. It's just crazy. It is crazy times. Yeah, pray for everyone. Pray for everyone. If you're a praying person, pray to shield yourself. You know that the Lord's Prayer is what Jesus gave us in the Bible for those that follow Christianity, and it says specifically, protect us from the evil one. So, yeah, pray for protection for all that want it. In these times, you know, we had an 18-year-old yesterday in Times Square, New York, from Ohio, with an AK-47 and ammo, and I think they probably kept him from suicide by cops because his father had been killed fleeing police, and there's a lot of helplessness. There's a lot of hopelessness. There's a lot of, look, I'm going to go out with a bang. I'm going to be remembered. You know, 19-year-old Brandon Hull from Indianapolis is always going to be remembered as the boy who killed 8 people in the FedEx. So there's a lot going on, and it all might come to a head this coming week. Minneapolis schools have said that they will be closed Wednesday, no in-person learning Wednesday through Friday in anticipation of the George Floyd verdict. I'm in a hot springs and it's not helping. No, I'm not trying to be ruthless. You go ahead and relax and, oh man, that sounds so good. Oh my gosh. Up until about 5 years ago, at least once a month, when I was married, my ex-wife and I would go to a place with a hot springs and relax. And there are times where I have to literally consciously pull my shoulders down from my ears, the tension and the stress of what's going on. Shooter on the loose in Texas. Yeah, that was Austin, Texas. Shot 3 people in an apartment. Apparently a domestic incident, and he's on the loose. There may be another one. I don't know. I'm gonna go to the video here and see what this white man has to say. And Canada's police were just given more power.
We're not here to do that to you either. What we want you to do is understand something. This is a lived experience that you don't have. This is a lived experience that we go through and we talk about and we fight for justice. And all you do is put it down and criminalize our family members. You know why? Because when they kill one of our loved ones, the first thing the normal press does, the ones you listen to at 5, 6, and 10, criminalize our family members by spewing police rhetoric and agenda. Immediately. You know why they do that? They do that so they can get people who think they're the shit to believe that they're the shit.
Oh, preach it, brother.
And they support that crap. So if you ever go on Unicorn Riot, you read some of the trolls' comments, you talk about inhumanity, you talk about inhumane, okay? That's who you people are. Your lived experience means nothing here because everybody lives it, okay? But you don't care. Do you care? Are you here to care? Are you here to care? Yeah. So I can't read that stuff anymore because I know what they do. And I get pissed off, okay?
That's why I don't
Anybody
read my
wants to
own
go,
comments
this is
a
what I heard
lot.
before. There's a white guy up there talking. Yeah, no shit. Okay? It's not surprising, it's not shocking if you did a little research and open your mind to the fact that a lived experience other than yours does exist.
Yay.
Pay attention. Why am I educating older people or willfully ignorant people? Come on. It's not rocket science. Shit happens. It's not your thing, but it happens. And then we get to deal with bullshit like Mike Freeman. All right? We get to deal with this fucking system. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to swear. Okay? And then we get to deal with this system, which is everybody. The police, district attorneys, politicians. Right? Politicians, yeah, and I'm going there. Thank you. Here's the deal. We're supposed to do things by our Constitution. Politicians are supposed to uphold that Constitution and let us do what it tells us to do. So we do. We have legislation. Jonathan, I hope you're here. Okay? We have 9 bills that are in front of the legislators right now to get something done about police reform. Okay? But here's what you got. You got 2 Republicans, Paul Gazelka and Warren Limmer, who couldn't give a shit about change and just want us to keep things the status quo. Okay? So they fight this all the time. All right? And then you got a Democratic governor who doesn't give a shit about this either. Walls will stand up in front of the world and talk about COVID all day long. We're tired. We're tired of COVID. We get it. I'm tired of Walls talking about COVID, not this stuff. You have a dinner and you tell the family one thing and you don't do shit. Who are you? Operation Safety Net. That's not to give Nico or you or me our First Amendment rights. It's to cover their ass when something goes wrong. And that's all it is. So be aware. Pay attention. They kill people randomly. Okay? They kill people that don't deserve to die. There's no death penalty in this state. Okay? And then they cover it up. And then they pull bullshit like Operation Safety Net out of their ass to cover their ass. Be alert. Be awake. This happens here. Guess what, trolls? It happens here.
Yeah.
Alright, so another reminder here is that multiple people have died in this square. Okay, we have that's right here, right behind y'all. That's where he died. And we also have another man who was killed not that long ago. His name is Bilal Eid over there. And his father is here today. And I always tell people, got the wrong man, but got the right father. Got the wrong man, got the right mother. These families here today are standing, they did not ask to be here. Just remember that, they did not ask to be here. So please, give a round of applause for Dave Go. What's his name? Bilal Eid. What's his name? Bilal Eid. What's his name? Bilal Eid. Say his name. Bilal Eid. If the law don't get it, shut it down. If the law don't get it, shut it down. If the law don't get it, shut it down. All right. Everyone.
We love you.
I just want you to know that I was checking through the comments on Unicorn Riot as he was talking, and they don't like white men that support equality.
It was a killing December 30th.
When he killed them, the whole gas station 1 mile from here. It's not so far. And he was the second guy when they killed him, George Floyd, this area. The policeman there was saying, it was a traffic stop. It wasn't. There was a saying, we have the warrant. We know the warrant. The car he was driving, it wasn't his name. But then, there was a saying, it was a female was him and she was his girlfriend. Okay, it wasn't. The fourth one there was saying it was the police and the copper who was with the car. The fifth, there was a saying it was some a female, she was working with the police. You see how many lies there was saying? There was a saying, he was the shoot ass.
Okay, I gotta bop away from this for just a minute. We'll get back to what's going on in George Floyd Square. No disrespect to the gentleman or to his son that was murdered, but
And that's what we do in Poston area training to work with that.
we got an officer-involved shooting
No.
in Polk County, and that's all I've got is Polk County. I'm not sure even.
That sort of the investigation. Yeah, we truly believe that the grandma was looking out for the best interests of what she received as a 14 and 21-year-old granddaughters, and she just didn't understand, the system. We don't think she was intentionally trying to impede the investigation. We think she was, being a good grandma. And when we
Okay, until I get more on this, I'm going to go to this next.
I'll have the
Fatal officer-involved shooting in Winter Haven, Florida.
On the truck after
Okay, this
today,
is it.
and
All right.
I will have him down to the station so that they can cooperate. So we see it more as grandma wanting to look out for the best interest of her grandchildren. We hope sometime today, this evening. You absolutely can. And we also will provide you a copy of this.
Okay, we're going back up to Minnesota. The officer-involved shooting. And we'll go down to San Antonio. And we'll go back to George Floyd Square.
So this last year, she started saying her son's name again. So let's say his name. So Demetrius Hill, okay? What's his name? Demetrius Hill. Say his name. Demetrius Hill. Brown. If Demetrius don't get it, if Demetrius don't get it, if Demetrius don't get it. Thank you. Oh, I look at
If you're just joining us, thanks for watching. It's American Doofus. Don't be a doofus. We are in George Floyd Square in Minneapolis, Minnesota, just to the south and east, I believe, of Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. We'll be there later on tonight. Hello to Glenda Palms, Moondog. Tree of Liberty, hello to everyone that is here and in the chats. And I thank you all for watching. It's Sunday Stories, and it's violence in America.
Him cornered just to put fear in him. My son kept telling me, Mom, let's not move over on the east side. But unfortunately, I had a house. I had no choice because that's the house that gave me the rent, that allowed me to rent. While living in there no less than 9 months, somebody set my basement on fire. Now, hear me. My son asked me not to move on the east side. I ended up going to stay in a shelter for women, and I had 2 little ones. I had a baby boy, not even 1 year old, and a 3-year-old daughter. While my son was living with my mom and dad and my other daughter, the people that was in the building, we all was like family. Now listen to me. My mom and dad and the people in the apartment building, we socialized like family. Why would this police be around in the area? Why would this person call the police? Why? I asked. Just like my son was got shot 6 bullets in his body. When he laid there in the hallway, he asked the officer why. That was his last word. It took me all this time last year to open up that report because they silenced us 23 years ago. And now, George Floyd, on picture, on TV, watching him, his last word, Mama. The eyes in the police, looking at this police eyes, seeing that he's taking this man's last breath, knowing his soul is leaving his body. I cried. I cried to the point that I had to get up because Mr. Sheriff, she called me and she said, I need you out here because your story is important. People want to know what happened. And my story is so important that the names of these officers is in her report. That's why I'm out here. We got to let the people, the mothers that has lost their loved ones, they need to say these officers' names. I have an event on the east side exactly at 1335. Write it down. When you say Demetrius' name, you need to be there because I'm about to explode. I'm about to show the anger that I feel because, he hurt me. He hurt my family. He tormented me. He silenced us. But you know what? God gave me the strength to stand up and have my boots on the ground. I am not the one that's going to shut down. My voice needs to be heard. These officers, all they want is the day that I read the newspaper, and it's in my report. It's in the newspaper, Star Tribune. They used this one word that got my attention. Depopulation. It made me know and made me realize they was up to no good. Because after that, the officer that's in my report, that's in Tashira's report, he's had records. And all the time since now and then, police has been killing innocent young ones. And they think they got it so good, they just doing it right on TV, right at the film, looking straight at you. Now, how bold can they get? You know what I think that is? I think that's straight out dumb, what you call a bully. Their family in their high school back then, they must have been bullied too. That's why they decided to join the police. They fear, oh, I put a gun in my hand, and then I go out and shoot somebody. But you know what? God sees it, and he's our witness. Because an eye for an eye. Because it says justice will be done. We are fighting for justice, but God is with us too. Because you know what? The officer that killed my son, I'm letting the world know. Justice was served. And if we believe that, all these officers that killed an innocent soul, they are God's children. The officer got it coming because karma coming right back on them. And I got a story to tell. April 28th, we're going to meet at 390 Maryland on the east side, and I have a story at 1335 Westminster. I want all of your mothers to attend, to have the least to let me know, the world to know how you feel. Because you need to call these officers' names out. We're through letting them intimidate us. We call them names out and they get intimidated. See, you call their names out when the community see them, and we see them, they'll be scared to fuck with you. I think so. But right now, they don't scare me. I know God got my back. Do you got my back? Who got my back? Say it again. Victory got my back and the Spirit got my back. God's got my back too. Yes, thank you.
If you're just joining, thanks for joining. If you're brand new to the show, it's the American Doofus Show, not normally on at this time. And just running through some stories on a Sunday. And we'll get back up to George Floyd Square in just a moment, but I've been wanting to run this story for a couple of days, and I'm going to go ahead and run it at the moment, just as kind of a little break from what's going on protest wise. Wait a minute. I'm going to run it as kind of a break from what's going on protest-wise. I wanted to, all this confusion here. It's going to be an incredible. I think it's going to be an incredible week, this coming week. And I noticed I wanted to say something to Canadian Shield. You're absolutely right. We've got some troops heading to the Ukraine because Russia's going to invade Ukraine. We got China getting ready to invade Taiwan. We've got Iran is at about 60% capacity nuclear wise, according to what they're saying. And there are a lot of things going on around the world. And it'd be real easy just to stick our heads in the sand and forget about everything. And I've got to do that every once in a while, just to distress, just to get away from it. But we can't turn a blind eye to what's going on. And on this show, our goal is to inform people, give them information and give them something to think about. And that's what we're trying to do. And again, I'm going to take just a small little 3-minute break from what's going on up in Minnesota because I wanted to play this.
UFO sightings in New York have nearly doubled since the pandemic began, and we are getting new video from the Navy showing pyramid-shaped objects flying in the sky. Brian Yemis is live for us in Brooklyn, New York. Brian, good morning.
Trace, good morning. This extraordinary video and images of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, were leaked to investigative reporter Jeremy Corbell and investigative reporter George Knapp. This night vision video purportedly shows 3 pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the coast of California in July of 2019. At one point, these UFOs reportedly hovered just 700 feet above the tail of the Navy destroyer, making, quote, extraordinary maneuvers. Now, Corbell says the unclassified video is part of a classified government report intended to educate officials about unidentified crafts flying over restricted airspace. These cell phone photos taken by a FA-18 pilot in March of 2019 show 3 different unidentified aircrafts off the coast of Oceania, including 2 UFOs dubbed the Metallic Blimp and another called the Sphere. A Department of Defense spokesperson said, quote, I can confirm that the referenced photos and videos were taken by Navy personnel. The Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force has included these incidents in their ongoing examinations. However, the Pentagon was unwilling to confirm these 3 photos, which Corbell says came from the USS Omaha, showing a UFO diving into the ocean and disappearing.
That is an extraordinary piece of technology. Whoever is operating these technologies are far more advanced than anything we have in the U.S. arsenal, and that should be a warning sign. We need to find out the intent of the operators of these vehicles.
Extraterrestrial or not, a bombshell UFO report is expected in June from the U.S. government. Trace.
Look forward to that. Brian Yemis live for us in New York. Brian, thank you.
So yeah, I've been wanting to get that out. I've been sitting on it for a couple of days now. Again, it's just something to think about. I'm not saying that was a UFO. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying the Navy says that's real footage, and that's the first time they've done that.
We are also going to the federal government asking them for a pattern and practices evaluation of the whole state of Minnesota. This has already gone on for a long time, so I don't want to get off, but please follow Justice, and any platform, it's all at Justice for Colby Heisler currently, and please help me go onto my TikTok. It's actually at Justice for Colby Heisler 1. How does somebody else use one? You know, I don't know what I had to do at Justice for Colby Heisler 1 on TikTok, but when I get to the point with the Department of Justice, I'm going to need a lot of help. And I need you all to help me. And then I need you all to go to each and every organization you've heard of, Family Supporting Families, Minnesota Justice Coalition, Justice Squad, Be Their Voices. Every time we get up here, we try to remember everybody. We always forget somebody. But just go and follow them all. Follow all the actions. Follow our, most importantly, action items. Anytime you see that cap that says action items, that's when we really need you. Protesting is great. It brings light to the situation. But when we start talking about an action item, that's when we're dealing with legislation. When we need you to call the representatives, when we need you to, those are really, really important. We do this to bring the light to the situation, but then we run home afterwards and we go work with the bill writers and we talk to the legislators so it doesn't get done. But that's where the change comes. This brings the light and the awareness to it, but then the action items are what gets stuff done. Thank you all for all your continued support. Thank you.
All right, we have one last family here today, and it's for Travis Jordan. And Travis Jordan was Black and Asian.
Okay, the UFO thing, the fact that the Manhattan Project was a beacon, that's not that's not on the fringe. The fact that we let off a nuclear device, and soon after that, Roswell. So that's not outside the realm. Share the accounts from the Navy pilots. Yes, when I've got some more time, I'll do that. Because it's interesting, and there's a lot of stuff out there on. Again, it doesn't mean that they're extraterrestrial. It doesn't mean they're alien. It just means they are objects that are flying that are of an unknown origin, and they could possibly be our own. That we as people, as citizens of America, are not aware that our government has created. So just because they're unidentified doesn't mean they're actually extraterrestrial, outside of our territory. Have I seen the Tic Tac footage? No, I have not. Boots on the ground. Okay. Another white man. He's talking about a young man that was killed. We'll go back to that.
Oh, and they were like, oh gosh, we knew you had a knife, and now you're showing it to us. Why don't you drop that, Travis? He was inside. He was safe. 30 seconds after they shot him, a senior officer, because both those officers only had 11 months of on the street. Now you would.
Oh yeah, it could be another government too, Salty Granny. Absolutely.
You could have that policy memorized still, but the police department has a sickness. They have a sickness where they can even take maybe those good folks who wanted to do something, and they pervert them in that system, because that system is not meant for good folks. That system is meant to hold you down. That system is meant to break you. That system is meant for fear. There's part of this story I can't tell right now, because I'm getting some justice a little bit for Taryn and I. We're getting some justice because they did things to us during that time. They kept us from Travis. They kept us from seeing our friend that he might have been alive. We don't know. Because they continue to mistreat the family. They continue to mistreat the victims. There was a lady at the Mothers March who got put in the back of a cop car, made to watch her son lie on the ground dead for hours. You want to talk about Willie Lynch? Today is happening. That story is happening. They are splitting out our black folks so that y'all will be afraid, but we ain't afraid. We in these streets, we're going to stay that way. Justice for Travis Jordan. Justice for Travis Jordan. Who's got the power? Who's got the power? That's right. I got some friends passing out a flyer. Please pay attention. You'll see my face on it. You'll understand what the next move is.
One last speaker for Plato.
Hello. My name is Pablo Tapia. I'm the Executive Director with Asamblea de Derechos Unidos and Chair with the Civil Rights for Immigrants campaign of the Camellia Network. And I also want to thank today we did extremely a lot of work. In 48 hours, we put a caravan of Latinos that are angry about what they did to our son in Chicago. Say his name. And Eric Polino was cut down, and he was only a child. How long are we going to let them go? We must stop it now. So we did a caravan all to that street, and there were so many cars I couldn't count them all. But the community is just picking up. But my message today is, let's get together and let's not play by the William Lynch book, okay? We know that story. So let's just, today my invitation is that we can do forces. Latinos, blacks, yellows, Justice for Adam Torino. Take his name. Take his name. Take his name. Take his name. Hey, his name. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's stick together, okay? Let's stick together. Now, we have different walls. All right? We have the wrong wall, the other wall. Now we need to put a new power on here. That's called unity. Please, let's come together. Now or never. Now is the time or never. Thank you guys for listening.
There's a march for Adam Toledo that ended up ending here. Adam Toledo was 13 when he was killed by Chicago police. Here live at George Floyd Square in South Minneapolis. 38th in Chicago, the longest standing autonomous zone in American history. In North American history, besides intentional communities.
There's also this kid, hey guys, Meg Kim from 612 MASH, and I can make a community ask real quick. Within the area, there's a small 11-year-old child who's missing, so you can just keep eyes out. The description is a white boy, 11 years old, black hair, brown eyes. He's autistic and nonverbal, wearing a light blue or gray sweater and army pants. So just if you see him, you don't have to approach. Just call 911 EMS is on alert, and they have professionals who can get in. If you see him in the square, just flag me down, okay? But yeah, thank you. You don't have his name. Sorry guys, and this is also a Tyco droning group. Come on, give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. Come on, come on.
One of the easiest and most effective ways we can experience other people's cultures is through music. All right, awesome. Great way to end this live. Tree of Liberty. Assuming that an average of 1 police officer is involved per killing, then 1,004 police officers, or 1,400 of 1% of Americans, are involved in fatal police. Yeah, they don't. The people don't protest every single arrest or even every single police shooting. They only protest the ones that are blatantly wrong. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you all for watching. I personally am, I feel blessed to have been able to witness the music here at the end of this, but that's just me. And be monitoring things, probably be back on around 9 o'clock as things unfold. If they do, if not, then we'll be back soon. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I do love y'all. Carpe diem. Moi. Thank you all for watching. I'm blessed. I saw you were in here. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. On the way out, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, do so. And please go back to school and learn how to calculate statistics. Okay. I love y'all sincerely. My name is Barry Walsh, and I host this thing called the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. It's a dark world. Do be a light. And please stay alive. I love y'all.